welcome to Pillow Talk with Angela. I'm your host, Angela Stribling, and we're going to talk about something that I think we should talk about a lot more frequently. When it comes to loneliness, so many people are just not spared. Even people in relationships sometimes find themselves lonely. We've all been there. And so I thought I'd bring on one of our friends. He's definitely a friend of the show and a personal friend as well. Hasani Pettiford is a relationship coach, marriage coach, infidelity recovery specialist. And he co-founded something really cool with his wife, Danielle. They've got a couples academy thing. I'm sure you know about it. They always bring these couples together and work some things out. And I know many people are grateful for that. So with no further ado, as they say, I got to work on my French. Please welcome Hasani Pettiford.
How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you in this 2024.
Yes, it's amazing to be in a brand new year. 2023 was great, but I believe that 2024 is going to be spectacular
Yeah, why? Why is it going to be so
because
spectacular?
I made the decision to make it so. I think it all starts with intentionality.
Yeah.
And I come across so many people. I ask them, "So, what is your plan for the new year?" Well, we'll see what the tide rolls in, or whatever life has to offer me. And that is living life in the passenger seat, and I believe in living life in the driver's seat.
Oh, I love that. And you know what? That's a great segue for our topic tonight. Planning and just, being intentional about your entire life, not just some things. So, not long ago, just coming off of the holidays and holidays coming up and special days coming up. And, I hear from so many people who are lonely. They want to find love, and, the holidays just kind of magnify the fact that they're alone
Mm,
and makes
mm.
them not feel great. Um, so I thought maybe we could talk about how to soften that blow and maybe do yourself a favor and turn it around so that it's not just, like you said, living in the passenger seat.
Right, right. Well, one of the things I find is that there's a major difference between being alone and being lonely.
Mhm.
Alone may be a relational state, but lonely could be more of a mental, emotional state while in certain relational states. And
Mm.
I think it's important that we realize that there's more than just one relationship. Yes, there are these horizontal relationships that we have with other people, but that internal relationship with yourself is so critically important. And I think so many people have done more of a job focusing on external relationships than the internal one with themselves.
I love that you say that. Let me just say, I know, I've been single, I've been coupled up, now I'm married, very happily married. And one of the things that would bother me so much, even though I am great alone, I love
Mhm.
my own company. Even now, I mean, I spend time by myself and I think it's healthy, just to kind of hear my own thoughts sometimes.
Absolutely.
However, I discovered on my birthday, I do not want to be by myself because I just don't like it. I feel lonely. I feel like it's my birthday. This is my special day. I need to be celebrated. And so, what I started doing is, I mean, years ago, I started, no matter what the plans are for the day, if there are no plans, I'm going to be all right. So I would book myself a massage, a facial, get my nails done, something like that, just for myself. I figure I'm just going to be my own best friend. And if I do that, I'm good.
And I think that's brilliant. And I think more people need to do that. Listen, there's no question. We live in a world, but there's a world that lives within us.
Yeah.
And when you really master that internal world within yourself, you can find fulfillment within yourself. Being alone and being good with it is an actual good thing because I say this all the time. If you're single and sad before you get married, once you do get married, you're going to be married and mad, right? So you have to be good within yourself.
That's
But,
good.
but community is important, right? And I
Yeah.
think that if you're single and alone, we're focusing on a romantic relationship, but it doesn't mean that you don't have other healthy relationships that you can lean into to
Right.
bring you some type of fulfillment. And I think it's important to create a healthy environment around you of people who are supportive, who love, who care, and to be intentional during those holiday seasons of
Mm,
spending life and doing life with others. Absolutely.
mm, mm. Yeah, and it's true, and I love the fact that you say that, People are important. People are definitely important in our lives. And even if you are not a lonely person or feeling lonely, there are times that it's kind of a setup that if you haven't figured out how to maybe build a community or have something going on in your life, you could feel sad. You could feel lonely if you wait until that day. Like here it is, Christmas morning. You've made no plans and you're single or alone, whatever the case might be. You by yourself and you wait until that day, and then you're feeling some kind of way. And I like the fact of maybe planning, figuring something out. I mean, you don't want to be fake and just get some friends just for the holidays.
No, but I think what you're saying is good because every time, listen, my wife and I plan the year in advance, right? So oftentimes, because we now live in Atlanta, most of our family and friends are in New Jersey, New York. So even though I'm with her in a marriage, we still at times can feel lonely because all of our connections are hundreds of miles away. So
Same book.
even we have to be intentional
Yeah.
to make sure that we're doing something where we can draw others, in our community where we can enjoy life together. So
Yeah.
that may be going on a vacation one year. That may be flying people in. That may be taking a road trip. Whatever it is, it's good to be in a community of other people and build relationships.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, there's certain things that I think really will cause a person to feel lonely that they have complete control over.
Oh, let's
One
talk
of the
about that.
biggest one of the biggest challenges that I've found in the last few years, obviously, is the influx of social media and its influence, right? Because if you are a person who's struggling to establish relationships, but you have constant exposure to others' seemingly perfect relationships on social
Right.
media, it can exasperate this feeling of loneliness. We somehow think that everybody's living a life so fab
Right.
because it's picture perfect. Well, perfection only exists in a still frame picture. It
Right.
doesn't exist in reality. And I think that a lot of times we live vicariously through other people and we're given a false impression of what's really going on. And that can lean into the loneliness feeling that we have.
Ooh, gosh, that's so true. Not to mention the filters. You can look however you want. They have filters for these cars that,
Yes.
not really your car, but it can look like it. All kinds of things. And it does. I mean, but there is something about, you know, people who are on their phones all the time, on their computers, and haven't really taken the time to go outside of that universe to build real
Ex
relationships with real people. And honestly, Hassani, many people don't know how to do that. I mean, they're so used to being solo and maybe a little, I don't want to say shy, but not necessarily good with people. How do you start? What do you do? What do you suggest to people like that?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And the reality is, I can be whoever I want to be on social media.
That's
I
right.
can be whoever I want to be on the internet. And that's why, if you're engaged in social media and the internet, the goal is to transition from being online to offline. So once you've felt like you've developed some type of rapport, some type of connection with somebody, take that to the next level and meet with this person for coffee, meet with them for a date, get around them, have a 3D, 4D experience with who they are, their surroundings, who they're connected to. Because there's certain things that you can hide and fake in social media, but you can't do that in real life.
That's
And I
right.
think that learning how to make that transition and not believing everything that you see and everything that you read is really going to help you. I think that would be a significant shift that people can make.
Yeah.
And I think another challenge is that so many people really over idolize romantic relationships, and they think that the only way that I can find personal happiness is if I'm somehow in a
Right.
romantic relationship with other people.
It's not
And
true.
this it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. And for those who struggle finding someone, I tell people all the time, the best way to really see if you're ready for a romantic relationship is to have other healthy non-romantic relationships, even with members of the opposite sex. So if I am not good at dating women and I'm awkward and weird around women, don't know how to function and interact, I need to have female friends. I
Yeah.
need to learn about the gender from non-sexual, non-romantic relationships because I'll get a level of insight that I'll never have if I did not have that. You see? So
Yeah.
there's steps to the romantic relationship that start with platonic relationships.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, actually, those types of relationships help in other areas too. If when you're single and, like you said, you might not be so think you have to be a certain way in order to attract women. Just, be yourself. But there are some people also who can only like if they're around the opposite sex, they only know how to be romantic. They don't know how to have platonic friendships. And then they end up just viewing the opposite sex in one way, sexualized. And then I think what you're saying, it's also very healthy to just have some friends of the opposite sex, and you're just going to be friends, and to learn how to have those types of healthy relationships, right?
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. Here's the reality. We only learn to deal with people sexually because of the influx of social media and pornography. There's been so many people who have done studies on this. If you don't have personal interactions, it's easy to swipe to the left or swipe to the right
Right.
and see whatever tantalizes you. So,
Right.
whatever you like, you can find it. And what that does is it dehumanizes
Mhm.
the opposite sex, the opposite gender. And now, to your point, you only look at them in a very linear sexual way. And so, social media, while it has its strengths, there are also deficits as well. So, here's the key. You said it, Angela. Get outside your house. If you're trapped in your home and you don't take the time to socially engage, volunteer. Join a gym. Join a community of people who have shared interests and likes that you have. Go to some meetups. Join a church. Get around other people. And the more you begin to do that, the more comfortable you get being in these environments. And then what happens is you begin to gain a relational intelligence of how to deal with others. And then
Hmm.
once you have that, it's easier to step into these romantic relationships with a healthy foundation.
Yeah, and what you're also doing, you're building a community, and that's not gonna make you feel lonely. In fact, you've got people you can call, and it doesn't have to be, as you said, it doesn't have to be romantic all the time. Just to be able to call somebody or hang out with somebody who, you both might like to play tennis or, chess or, word games, any of those types of things. And even if you're, computer type, I don't know how to, I don't want to say a computer nerd, but if you're just gaming all the time or you're doing this kind of thing, there's also the opportunity to play it with other humans, and
Absolutely.
you can say, "Okay, yeah, you seem cool, maybe we can get together." That's a great way for people to meet up. If you're single and you're having trouble meeting people, you already know that you've got common interests.
And I think that's what it really comes down to because there's this scripture in the Bible that says, can two walk together unless they be in agreement, right? In essence, it's saying, do we have shared likes, shared values, shared beliefs? And when you find somebody who likes the things that you like, who has similar hobbies and interests, that really lays a foundation for compatibility in a relationship. So
Mhm.
rather than seeking people, search for yourself in things that you like to do, and you may find other people as you're doing that.
I love that. That's awesome. So before we let you go, Hasani, you're always just dropping so many gems whenever you're on. Thank you for that. Is there anything, just on this topic of loneliness? And again, on Pillow Talk, I hear from so many people who are beautiful. I mean, they're wonderful people, and they say they're just not having much success meeting a good partner. Just anything you want to leave us with.
I think it's always a good idea. Statistics have proven that the older in age you get, like once you hit 35, 40, and above, most people meet other people through their friends. That's
Hmm.
how they meet it. So having just friends, like you don't have to search and go out on your own necessarily, but sometimes your friends have access to other people that may be the perfect individuals for you for long-term future relationships. And so lean into that. I would also say, discover a new passion and a new hobby. Like at the end of the day, if you've been the same person you've been all of your life, same habits, same routines, same process, you may want to do something different because insanity is doing the same thing but expecting different results. Sometimes you've got to do the opposite of what you've always done to get a different result. And another thing is, so many people are trapped in what I would call comfort. Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and stretch, expand your limits. Go beyond your own limitations of what you think is okay and not okay, because you may discover things that you love that you never would have given yourself an opportunity to do so. And in doing that, you open yourself up to a whole new world of possibilities and people that you can meet.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. I mean, so many of us, I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but so many of us do get comfortable. You're like, "Oh, I like this, I like that." And there might be some things that you enjoyed when you were much younger and you just kind of forgot about it, maybe hobbies that you liked and you never made time for it. You find yourself single and maybe pick some of those things up. And like you said, you might find other people, like-minded people who want to do the same thing. So yeah, make
Angela,
some.
I knew somebody who hated the idea of the great outdoors. Camping was the last thing on their list. And so one of their girlfriends convinced them to do it. And guess what? They found their future husband camping, right? The last place that they would ever expect it. But because they were willing to do something new and different that
Yeah.
made them more comfortable, this Joseph Murphy said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek.
Ooh,
And so we can't limit ourselves to things that
yeah,
we're uncomfortable with.
yeah.
Stretch.
Stretched. Oh, that's so good because it's so easy to just say, "You know what? I've got a fear about this. I'm just gonna avoid this at any cost," which means that fear is gonna haunt you the rest of your life and kind of imprison you, in certain ways.
Absolutely.
Yet if you just take a deep breath, walk through that door or in that cave, and you just never know. Yeah, you never know.
And if I could say one more thing, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'd love it. Bring it on.
Learn to love you. And what I mean by that is this. If I'm an individual and we all have fears and insecurities, right? There's no perfect person. But if I'm not comfortable in my own skin, if I don't like me, that's going to resonate, right? So what happens is we teach other people how to treat us.
We
If
do.
we love ourselves, then guess what? We're naturally going to attract others who love us. But if we're down on ourselves, if we beat ourselves up, if we always second guess everything that we do, we're going to attract other people who see us the way we see ourselves, who treat us the way we treat ourselves. So, learning how to really develop and heal past hurts, past wounds that you haven't overcome to become your best self, you will all automatically draw and attract a better quality of person into your life.
I believe that. And it's a constant. I mean, like you said, none of us are perfect. And we all have some types of fears and insecurities. And, tried and tested. I mean, if you just try it, like things that you say about yourself, the self talk, the things that other people hear you saying about yourself, that gives them license to say it and judge you on that same thing versus,
Absolutely.
start speaking well about yourself. And just like you're saying, to your exact point, that's you're teaching people all day long. Everyone you encounter, you're treating them how to treat you based on how you're treating yourself and how you feel about yourself. I love that. I mean, and that's something that we hear a lot, and it's one of those things that it's easy to just say, yeah, it's just one of those sayings. That is truth. That is
Very
real.
true.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. Well, I absolutely love you, my friend, and I'm so happy
Love
that
you
you're
back.
here and you give us such good information. And I don't take it for granted. I always just appreciate you saying yes to, being on the show. And yeah, really helps a lot of people. So thank you. And
What
if we were to summarize what you gave us today, I think if you don't have a lot of friends or you haven't taken the time to cultivate those friendships, it's one of the best things I think we can give ourselves because a friend, a good
Mhm.
friend, is, oh my God, I can't even imagine life without my girlfriends, just through it all. And I haven't always, cultivated the friendships, but once I figured it out, oh, I'm like this. I mean, it just makes
Absolutely.
life so much better, and this is
For
not,
sure.
not just looking for your romantic relationship, but as you said early in the show, just cultivating friendships and relationships and community is so important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good. So I already talked to your wife, and you both agreed that you're gonna come on
Mhm.
together in the future.
Yes.
Yeah? We're really gonna do this?
It will be incredible. Our dynamic, first of all, her wisdom and her intellect. I live in the shadow of it, so you should have had her on this show a long time ago.
Oh
So
my
I would,
goodness.
I would love to have us both on the show.
I would love that, and I love what you 2 are doing, and I think I'm still on your email list, Couples Academy, and it's so great. They'll have these couples on and, you guys come up with all kinds of things, and it's a great opportunity, I think, for, I mean, couples go through all kinds of things. Anyone who's ever been in a serious relationship, it's cyclical. It's good, but then you're
Mhm.
always gonna go through things, and so being able to go through that with therapists, with licensed professionals, and other couples, that's gotta be amazing.
You know,
So I
when
wanna
people
talk about that.
say Yeah, when people say I'm going through, oh man, I'm going through. That's exactly what you should be doing, going through to get out of it. See, a
Yeah.
lot of times people get stuck and they get trapped and there's no movement, there's no momentum. And so what we do is we take people who are in a very dark place, couples who are in crisis, those on the verge of divorce, those who have been impacted by some type of betrayal, who don't know what to do. We take them on a journey. And our focus is your relational restoration and your personal transformation.
Wow.
And if you can experience those two things through a very specific journey and process, you'll wind up having a relationship that you never thought was possible. There's so many people that are just struggling, and we think that, guess what? I guess everybody's going through. Yeah, everybody's having challenges, but for those who are bold and audacious enough to invest in their relationship, they're amazed at what happens on the other side of the journey.
Hmm.
And there's so many people that we can attest to who are at death's door relationally, who are willing to give it one more chance. And now they're living a life that they never thought was imaginable.
Ooh, I'd love to see a one of those shows, like, what is it? Love and Marriage and stuff like that, like a show that has a positive spin like this, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
reality shows, they're always trying to, yeah, I mean, of course, they want the ratings, and it's always all about the drama of it and the terribleness, and, I think it can help to destroy relationships oftentimes,
exactly.
and, wouldn't it be nice to see a TV show like this? Have you
We've
guys
been
ever
waiting for that for a long time, Angela. Hopefully, at some point, they'll wake up and realize, let's give people some quality, inspirational, positive examples that will help shape culture and society.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk more about that. But in the meantime, we'll have you on Pillow Talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Hasani. You're amazing. And before you go, shout out your social, or if people want to get in touch with Couples Academy and, might want to go through the course or however you call it, how do they do it?
Go to couplesacademy.org. That's .org, or follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and just type in Couples Academy.
Couplesacademy.org. See if I can put that in the comments. No, I cannot, but I'll do it after the show.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And on social media, I know we talked a little bit about social, but the positivity of social media is that you can contact people. What are your socials?
At Couples Academy on Instagram, or at Hasani Pettiford on Instagram. And you can
Easy.
DM me directly.
That's perfect. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Sani. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching Pillow Talk with Angela. Make sure you check out the radio portion wherever it's on in your city. And I'm just so excited that we've branched out. So, of course, we started and are still a big part of 96.3 WHUR. We're on Sirius XM, channel 141, and we just got 135 other terrestrial radio stations across the country. So it's the Black NPR stations. Find out which one is in your city and check us out, Pillow Talk with Angela. Thanks again for watching us. Have a good night.